Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second monthly meeting of the Council for the Township of Admaston, Bromley. I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 7:30. I would ask everyone present to please join with me to open tonight's meeting in the observation of a moment of silence. Thank you. I now seek a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
Moved by myself, second by Angela Field, be it resolved the Council approve the agenda for March 16th, 2023, regular Council meeting.
Can I speak to that first? I'd like to add, under new business, Mike, just a public service announcement about the library.
Okay. If it's not a particular, like if it's not business, I will certainly invite. I don't know that we necessarily.
It's not business, it's just
an announcement.
Announcement
Okay.
on the two events.
Then we will certainly accommodate that in new business, Councillor Hamilton. Thank you. Anything further, Council? All in favour? That is carried. And I would invite at this point any disclosure of pecuniary interest, and if any, the general nature thereof, please. I see none. Councillor Gree, I believe you have a motion on the minutes of the March 2nd Council meeting.
Moved by myself, second by Angela Field, be it resolved the Council adopt the following meeting minutes. March 2nd, 2023, regular Council meeting.
Thank you. Council, any errors or omissions? I just had one suggestion. This is on it's page 5 of the report. It's page 3 of the minutes. It is with respect to item 11B, the recognition report. I think that it would be perhaps appropriate to include what reads right now is Mayor and Council congratulated the finance clerks for their hard work and determination. And I'm quite certain that every single employee in the municipality has hard work and determination. But I think that it is appropriate to be quite specific. My suggestion was in accomplishing recent training goals and upgrading their skills. As Council will recall, this was entirely the training that both Andrea and Megan had undertaken and completed, and they are continuing in their training. And I think it's appropriate to underscore what the acknowledgement was for. Any concerns with adding? I don't seek a motion to amend. I think that we can just do that as a friendly amendment. Is Council satisfied with that? Okay, I'm not getting any negative. So if we could make that change, that'd be great. Any other errors or omissions, Council? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Sorry, I have to go back to my agenda now. There are no delegations and guests. I do wish to of course, acknowledge and welcome on board our new treasurer, sitting directly across from me. Very pleased to have Kelly Coughlin joining us as our treasurer moving forward. The seat has been vacant for quite some time, so we're quite excited to have you here, Kelly. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here as well, and I look forward to working with everyone.
Outstanding. Thank you. With that, then, Councillor Gourlay, I will take it. You yield the floor for the Planning and Economic Development Committee report, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton. Be it resolved that Admaston Bromley Council accept in principle consent application B176/22 submitted by Alvin and Aaron Brubacher, so long as requirements of commenting agencies are satisfied.
Thank you, Councillor Gourlay. Anything that you wish to underscore in this consent application?
No, Mayor Donohue. I think everything's fairly straightforward now as well.
Outstanding. Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? I see none. All in favor? Oh, we're picking up steam. Excellent. That is carried. And back to you, Councillor Gourlay.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton. Be it resolved that Admaston Bromley Council accept in principle consent application B177/22 submitted by Alvin and Aaron Brubacher, so long as requirements of commenting agencies are satisfied.
Thank you very much. Once again, Council, on this consent application, any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. And moving on, Councillor Gorley.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Hamilton. Be it resolved that Admaston Bromley Council accept in principle consent application B153/22 submitted by L. Brent Greer and Diane Greer, so long as requirements of commenting agencies are satisfied.
If I might, I think that both on the report and in this resolution, I think that is incorrect. I think these are 21. If you read them carefully, I think these are fairly long-standing and very complex and complicated, but I'm fairly certain that they are, in fact, 15321 and 15421.
That makes sense. The top right corner, stamp 2021.
The application, the application itself from the County of Renfrew indicates it's B153/21.
21. So I'm just going to, this is just a clerical error. We're not seeking an amendment. I'll just fill that in on the resolution. You are satisfied. Actually, maybe I will have you initial and the seconder initial as well, please. And while we are considering that question, if you want to make the same change on the next one, Councillor. Thank you. So it has been corrected. I'll read the corrected version for the record. Moved by Councillor Gorley, seconded by Councillor Hamilton. Be it resolved that Admaston Bromley Council accept in principle consent application B153/21 submitted by L. Brent Greer and Diane Greer, so long as requirements of commenting agencies are satisfied. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And back to you once again, Councillor Gorley.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton. Be it resolved that Admaston Bromley Council accept in principle consent application B154/21 submitted by L. Brent Greer and Diane Greer, so long as requirements of commenting agencies are satisfied.
Okay, and I'm also, just for clarity, one of these should only have L. Brent Greer, and I'm not certain which one. So just bear with me one moment. Sorry, I'm trying to find.
154/21.
So yeah, that's right. This one, 154, is in fact exclusively L. Brent Greer. So I wonder once again, Councillor Greer, if you could just scratch out Diane with a single cross and have each of them mover and seconder initial. These were, I will acknowledge, these were very complex consent applications. Thank you. Once again, I will read the corrected version. Moved by Councillor Gorley, seconded by Councillor Hamilton. Be it resolved that Admaston Bromley Council accept in principle consent application B154/21 submitted by L. Brent Greer, so long as requirements of commenting agencies are satisfied. Council, having heard the resolution, any questions or comments? Councillor Legree.
I'm just curious why or how you know this is only the one person. The application has both names on it. I realize the planner's report only has one name. I'm just curious why the distinction and how you've come to determine it is just the one name. If it matters, your microphone, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, thank you. Yeah, so the applicant is, because these were as complex as they were, I actually was in touch with the county this afternoon just to verify a couple of points on this, and that was one of them, because I had actually gone all the way through these and was kind of perplexed as to it seemed very involved and very complex. And I was speaking with the planner for our municipality, Lindsay Bennett, and it was she that drew my attention to the differences. Ultimately, the reason there's a difference is because I think everybody is probably familiar with the principle of merging. So I'm assuming that this was done when in fact these properties were purchased, probably in order to keep them as separate properties and not put them together as two. It is important to understand that as to why there remains two properties. That's why I was suggesting that it's appropriate that we make the change to this.
Thank you.
Anything further? Seeing nothing, all in favor? That is carried. Keep those in order. 1, 2. Thank you, Councillor Gourlay. There is nothing from Community Services Committee this evening. Operations Committee. I would invite you first, Councillor Hamilton, and then I'm presuming you will invite the Superintendent.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Gurley. Be it resolved that the Admaston Bromley Council received the February Public Works report as information, and I will turn it over to
Mr. Wyszynski, please.
Thank you. Basically, the month of February was busy for us. Mother Nature definitely threw her hand in the pot and brought us winter finally. But other than that, everything else kind of moved fairly smoothly. Just to highlight, I spoke with the mayor a little bit too about the wells that are being installed on McGackern, Mixburg, and McGinty Road. They're going to be based all around the major creek areas, if I want to say that. They put a well on each side of the creek. It's just for water testing. I believe it's for the ground flow, like to see how fast the water comes up and out of the ground. So when they dig, they can understand how deep they can go. I don't really get into the geologics of it, but we did have some issues in locations, but Enbridge was very, very good to deal with us and finding the right positions. I think there's 10 wells total to go in. And they'll be decommissioned in about a year or two. They look after all the costs. There's no nothing to do with the township and financial wise. Moving on from there, we did get our landfills inspected. As you can see, I'd like to say we came out with flying colors, but we did have a little bit of an issue with cover and Osceola. Mother Nature provides us a lot of cover in the winter months, and it just so happened that the day that we got inspected, we had a mild spell, and a lot of birds and turkeys came in and made it look a little worse than what we expected it to be. So we will be getting revisited in the spring, and we'll make sure it's in tip-top shape at that point. Other than that, just like I said, February was a very busy month. We had 9 winter events, which those are major storms. The freezing rain definitely threw a hilt into our sand pile, so we've had to bring in sand twice now. Actually, it was in the upcoming events, but we've actually got that done now. So it was an extra 1,000 ton we had to bring in, which normally only has to be done once a winter, and yeah, this year we had to do it twice. If there's anything else, feel free.
Thank you, Mr. Wyszynski. Council, any questions or comments on the Public Works February report? A couple of comments. Very pleased to hear that vis-a-vis the wells, i.e. that they are temporary installations. Anything that's in the right-of-way is a potential hazard at any time. I think that's a thorough explanation, because when I saw that, I was wondering if these were going to have a long-term installation, and I think you said a year. So very pleased to hear that. Just on the second comment, Mr. Wyszynski, vis-a-vis the extra sand. So typically we would haul 1,000 extra tons, because I know that the February period, routinely we were restocking some sand, but in this particular year we have had to restock more than in previous years. Is that correct?
That's correct. Generally, we usually bring in 500 ton at a time. That would get us through the rest of the winter, but we've had to bring in 500 ton twice, so 1,000 ton now, which is a little out of the ordinary.
Okay, well, and certainly remains to be seen what might be left in inventory, but that is certainly going to be a challenge in the winter control, which we are looking forward to arriving at what it is going to cost us. Or what we were going to budget for that. But last year, if council will recall, I think we ended the year with a substantial surplus coming out of the winter control, both we didn't have to transfer any of the reserve, plus I think we came substantially under expenditure. So that's probably looking a little bit different, but remains to be seen what inventories we may carry forward. Anyway, thank you for that. Anything further, council? Seeing nothing, all in favor? That is carried. There is nothing from Waste Management this evening. Finance and Administration Committee, we have 11A, the payment register. I believe Councillor Field, you may have the resolution on this.
Moved by myself, seconded by Kevin Legree. Be it resolved that Council approves the February payment register in the amount of $172,495.72.
Thank you. Anything, Mr. O'Reilly, you wish to speak to?
I'll just highlight the fact that in the past couple of months, you received 2 reports, one which was generated by our system that showed all the checks that were issued, and then there was a separate spreadsheet that I gave explanations for certain items on. We've now merged that into one document, so you can see without having to flip back and forth if it was explained or not. So it's just the 2-page document now that it lists all the checks and provides explanations for, in this case, almost 97% of the expenditures for the month. So if there are any particular questions, Andrew will be happy to respond to them.
Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly. I think that I'm certainly embracing this report because I think in underscoring the nature of the check, I think it probably pre-addresses some of the questions that council may have. Having said that, council, any questions or comments? Councillor Hamilton.
Yeah, just an explanation on MasterCard, just because I don't know what it covers, I guess. Thanks.
Mr. O'Reilly.
Yep, there are 4 staff members currently that have credit cards. There are there are some companies we deal with because it's a one-off. We deal with them once a year. We can't establish a trade account, so we do use MasterCard. For example, our software for our computers, it's easier to pay that. Same thing when it came to do the renewal on the vehicle licenses for all our trucks and that. It's easier because the amount that we think we're going to pay sometimes changes when we actually get there. So if you have a check, you have to cancel check, come back, and go back the next day, so it's easier that way. It's mainly just day-to-day stuff, but there are 4 staff members that have it, each with varying credit limits that are appropriate to their requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I do apologize, Ms. Leclerc. I'm sure that that's precisely how you would have. It was my mistake in not actually going to you to answer that. It will not happen again. Anything further? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Uh, 11B, I believe once again, Councillor Field, this may be in your bailiwick.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Legree. Be it resolved that Council accept the 2022 Council Remuneration and Expenses Report as information.
Thank you. Once again, Mr. O'Reilly.
Thank you, Mayor Donoghue. This is a requirement under the Municipal Act, Section 284, to be specific, that requires the treasurer of the municipality to report by March 31st of any expenditures or any payments made to a member of council, and then to break it down whether it's remuneration or reimbursement of other expenses. The report itself, or the document that it summarizes it for Admaston Bromley, is attached as Appendix A, and this is the crossover year, so we do have 8 names listed instead of just the current 5, because of course we have the 3 members of council that didn't return, so we do have to report those expenditures as well. So unless there are specific questions, again, mileage is quite distinct. There's only one in the other category, and that was just the reimbursement of supplies. And beyond that, there were no conventions attended during 2022, which often has to be reported. But again, with COVID just sort of winding up, there were no attendance of those as well.
Thank you. And to be clear, so it is not exclusively council because if I recall, and I'm not scrolling through, I believe our Committee of Adjustment and the PSB, Police Services Board, does provide remuneration separate from council, and that is recorded here as well. So it is not necessarily confined exclusively to council. So that is one added element. But the other thing is any councillor that sits on another board. In this instance, I don't think it's applicable, though it might be moving forward on, I'm not sure how our PSB, but I know if there was a councillor sitting on an external board that is remunerated, that also must be reported by that board to us, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Anything further, council? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. And that is actually what 11C is speaking to. Once again, I'm pretty sure Councillor Field.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Kevin Legree. Be it resolved that council accept the 2022 local board remuneration and expenses report as information.
Thank you. I guess that's where I saw it. Council, you've heard the resolution. Any questions or comments on the report? Councillor Hamilton.
Nothing per se on the report, just these individuals get appointed annually, and we review that occasionally? Or talk to them? Or?
I believe the Committee of Adjustment is the term. I'm not sure, because there is an honorarium stipend for the Committee of Adjustment. There is for the PSB. I don't think there is for any other. I think that was clear in this report, correct, Mr. O'Reilly?
That is correct. The bylaw the most recent bylaw I found appointing these was in 2019. So again, it usually matches the term of council, but sometimes it's delayed depending on the ability to fill the positions. I know that my past experience has been that when it came to Police Services Board, it is extremely difficult to try to get a provincial appointee. And in fact, we don't currently have one. So we, like others, are waiting for that appointment if ever occurs. And just having said that, when it comes to this report, we only report on the members that are appointed by this council. So if there was an appointee by the province to a police service board, for example, we do not have to report their remuneration under the Act.
Follow up?
Yeah, yes, follow up, please. So before we reappoint, we will talk to these individuals?
Actually, they've been reappointed, right? So this is the report on those in 2022.
Yeah.
We did just pass a bylaw, I believe it was the January 5th council meeting, wherein all of the all of the chairs were appointed for our standing committees, subcommittees, and I think all of our appointments are made, but that is for the ensuing year. So if that is something that you wish to perhaps give consideration to sometime over the course of this year, they are appointed. Councillor Hamilton, it would probably be an opportunity if you wish to bring that forward, discussing that with the CAO as to how to bring that forward.
Thank you very much. That's where my interest is.
Okay, thank you.
And not in a negative way. It's just a refresher to talk to these individuals. There is some of them that are very senior in our community and maybe be looking to go into retirement or something.
I
don't wish to subject or make an opinion on that until we get there down the road.
And certainly I will invite Mr. O'Reilly to speak to this, but I do know when we adopted the bylaw, the appointments bylaw, probably several of them, in January, Ms. Charkovy had reached out to confirm the continuing ongoing membership. So everyone that is appointed to a board is appointed for whatever the duration, probably that the bylaw would indicate. I believe that the Committee of Adjustment is for the term of council. Of course, it is not a sentence. It is a volunteer, even with a stipend. But at any time, members can come or go. Same with the library board. I think it's appointed for the term, but that does not mean that there is a demanded commitment for that. But they are confirmed in their appointments. Anything further? All in favor? That is carried. That concludes Finance and Admin. There is nothing from Protective Services Committee this evening. County of Renfrew, Council, you have had distributed in the package the County Council summary. If you have any particular questions, I will attempt to answer them at the best of my ability. There should be a resolution on this. Councillor Field, once again.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Legree. Be it resolved that Council accept the County Council summary for February 2023 as information.
Thank you. And I would open the floor for any questions or comments on anything you have read in the summary. Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. We have no bylaws tonight. In old business, the action tracking list. Councillor Hamilton, I believe that is yours.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Gurley. Be it resolved that the council receive the action tracking list.
Thank you. Anything you wish to speak to on this, Mr. O'Reilly?
Just one quick update on the asset management plan. We did receive a further draft finally from our consultant, and I think the word unsatisfactory is probably the one I would use at this point in time. So we have referred back to them once again to make some obvious error corrections before we post the document or bring it forward to council again.
Standing, thank you. Very pleased to see that it is actually moving. Any questions or comments, council? Mr. O'Reilly.
Sorry, I just caught the last item on the agenda there too. The backyard chickens. Just an update that I guess in step 2 of the process is the survey that's currently underway, and it'll be in progress until I believe it's April 15th that people can respond. The response has been pretty impressive so far as numbers, and that'll come forward after that point in time then.
Thank you. I think, because I was just looking at it recently this week, actually, I think it may be the 13th, if memory serves. I don't know why. Whatever the date is, it is. But it is mid-April when the survey closes. From that, the anticipation was that will be collated and curated by staff and a report coming forward to a planning committee, I'm sure in consultation with the chair. Thank you. Any questions or comments on the action tracking list? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. Councillor Hamilton, new business.
Yeah, just a quick reminder to the council and to all present in the room. On the 24th of March is the Library Board Trivia Night. Teams are welcome to come forward. It will be in the Call Red shop. Looking forward to a nice turnout. Welcome anybody and everybody to put in a team if they wish, or if we need to come up with a team, I could be game for that. The other item from the library is they have their pizza orders out there, and will be out there till around the 1st of April or immediately following that 24th of March. Please take a look at it. I believe you have copies here or on your computers if anybody's interested in pizza boxes.
Yeah, what I would add is even if you do not, I believe that we put our order in through the online, and there was a kind of a primer that the library board's Facebook page actually has, which contains both the agency code number so that the funds are directed to the appropriate recipient. And all of that information, it is very prescriptive. So if you wish to do it online, I would strongly encourage. I have been doing it, I think, since the time that they began the pizza fundraiser, and I think it's a fantastic initiative, and it is quite tasty pizza, just the same.
Thank you for that, Mayor Donoghue. And yes, please, if you the coordinator and the volunteer that's looking after it would appreciate online orders. It simplifies the process for her and for them in terms of collecting money and doing it. But thanks for participating, and something I might have to do at home.
Outstanding. Thank you, Councillor Hamilton. Any further new business, Council? Seeing none. There was no closed session circulated with the report. Does that remain consistent, Mr. O'Reilly?
That's correct.
Thank you. There is no closed session. Confirmatory bylaw. I believe Councillor Hamilton once again.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Gurley, that be resolved that bylaw 2023-17, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Township of Admaston, Bromley, at the meeting held March 16th, 2023, be now numbered, deemed read 3 times, and passed.
Thank you. Council, you've heard the question. All in favor? Thank you. That is carried. And Councillor Agree, I think that you have the final resolution. Oh, sorry. There is question period that I jumped over, an opportunity for anyone to ask any question that they have not asked. Seeing none, Councillor Agree.
Move myself, excuse me, moved by myself, second by Angela Field, be it resolved that Thursday, March 16th, 2023, Township of Admaston Bromley Council meeting be adjourned at 8:01 p.m.
Thank you, Councillor Agree. Council, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. My words, we went through business very quickly tonight. I wonder what's different about tonight. I'll have to have a conversation with the CAO.